of all, it's very rude because Doug's been sitting here already for several minutes and I didn't pour him any tea.
Oh.
So let's, we're going to taste a couple different teas.
Okay.
The teapot is near me,
Mm-hmm.
and that means it's my job to pour. Obviously, I pour for you before I pour for myself. Okay?
Well, that's rather nice of you.
You're
But
welcome.
that sounds like it's tea etiquette.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm learning so much today.
Let's just start by exploring this tea. This is a Jasmine Green.
All right.
Okay, now, I did just pick up my saucer, but guess what? When you're at a table,
No, you're not supposed to do that?
you messed up.
Oh, okay. Let
I
me put it
tricked
down
you.
then.
Okay, you're like this. Are you righty?
Do I
So
need
this works
to?
for you.
I'm going to align my saucer with
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick it up like you are.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay, now you can smell it a little bit. How's
very
that?
fragrant.
What does it smell like to you?
It smells like perfumey, flowery. I want to say lavender, but no, not lavender. Some kind of like flowers like
Jasmine.
jasmine. That's what it is. Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
That's pretty good. I like it. It's light.
It is light. It's
It's
supposed to
very
be
light.
like,
It's refreshing.
you did really well with that. I was like, let's get someone in here who, because I don't have like the official tea sommelier training. So there's a lot of words people use to talk about how it feels and
Okay.
tastes. I think you're an expert already.
Well, thank you. Well, I recognize that smell, but I just needed something to jog my memory, which was you, to tell me this jasmine, because we have that growing in our yard, my wife and I. So I smell it every, what is it, spring when it comes out or whatever?
Yeah, when does it come out? Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it is.
I'm sorry, I don't know when it comes out.
I like that you apologize about that. Okay.
But it's good though.
Mm-hmm. And it's a very special tea because the way they scent it is they mix the tea with the flowers and they let it sit. It's a lot of work actually to make these teas.
That's
so you have to appreciate
interesting. You never think about that when you're drinking tea. It's almost like, I think of it like when you're drinking like some kind of bourbon and they put it inside the barrels, like you said, they mix it together to get all the flavors and the woods. Interesting.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm
And
learning a lot.
bourbon sometimes can complement your tea.
We'll talk about that later.
That's a different
different video.
Can you,
Oh,
your
What?
tea handle is going to be on the right.
oh,
This is how you remember
this-
it goes
okay.
to 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. All
This world is discriminatory against lefties. That's how you remember it.
right.
I'm left-handed, so that's how I always remember.
That's right.
Resentment.
You and
with
Maya are
resentment.
left-handed. Maya's
That's
my
right.
wife. I'm sorry.
Yes, hello, Maya. We should have started by greeting her,
No, I was kidding.
our people. Okay. Let's smell this. Okay, this is
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
this is an oolong. Can we see colors on this thing? There you go.
Yeah.
I squinted at the camera.
It's probably better than you do that. I'll spill it all over the table.
Okay, so this is called an Oolong Nirvana.
Okay.
Jeanette and I went to Tea Bella in Oxford Exchange in Tampa.
Oxford Exchange.
Oxford Exchange was a delicious afternoon tea, by the way. I highly recommend it. to
Jeanette is how we know each other.
everyone.
One of our really close friends.
We should say hello to Jeanette. Hi, Jeanette.
Hello,
Thank you
Jeanette.
for our friendship.
How are you? Yes.
That's why we're friends, because we're both in Atlanta. But Jeanette, it moves all over the world, the United States. What do you think?
Very creamy.
Oh, wow.
It's a very creamy tea.
You are so good at this. Okay.
Yeah.
And what are the flavors? You know what? I meant to look up the flavors before you came over.
Vanilla.
Yes, I feel like there is.
I take some vanilla.
Okay. Wow. It's very impressive, everyone. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up this tea, and then I'm going to put the link to it
Okay. Sounds
in the
good.
links of this video. So
And when I go back and
can
look
buy
at it, I can even go look
Yeah.
for it.
You can buy
Probably
it.
buy it.
I like to order an oolong when I see it on a tea menu because
Okay.
it's very complicated to produce. It is the most complicated tea to produce because it has multiple stages
Mhm.
of roasting, and then it sits, and then it's like 1, 2, 3. I mean, I don't know. I would have to go to destinationtea.com, go to our page about choose your tea, and then you kind of learn about how all the different teas are made. I do not claim to be an aficionado on the subject. I'm still learning a lot, but It's so special. There's so much work that goes into it. I really appreciate it. Definitely, you could sweeten it if you wanted to.
It's a little creamy already. I don't know what you put.
I'm really impressed by your palate, sir.
I don't know how it happened. All of those buffalo wings I ate last night.
No, you have good genes. That's what it is. All right, this is a silly teapot, which I usually use for my kids, but I want to try so many different teas, so I end up using all my small pots. So I also really love this cup because I cross stitch, and this is a cross stitch.
Is that what that is?
And look at mine. Look how cool mine is.
I thought it was more like a digital. Never mind.
It does kind of seem like that. Okay, let's see if I can get away with this. Ooh, right. The confident pour, everyone. Okay, I'm going to leave you some room in here because this is a black tea.
Okay.
And therefore, you may want to add milk and sugar. Let's talk about milk and sugar.
All right. Let's talk about milk and sugar.
Okay, my recommendation, even if you know you want to add sugar and milk, is always taste it first.
Okay.
So let's see that. Okay, what this is very special. So my cousin Ann, hello cousin Ann, she goes to Italy all the time. My family's Italian. And so she was just in Rome last month. And she sent me some Babingtons. Babingtons is a famous tea room in Rome. You can also find an article about Babington's teas on Destination Tea if you're interested. It's similar to the kind of blend that you would find in an English breakfast. Okay, so it's supposed to be a robust, bracing, you would typically drink it like the way that Americans drink coffee. You might have an English breakfast to kind of start your day. Now, cream tea is typically enjoyed more in the afternoon. So if you're sensitive to caffeine,
I wouldn't drink this in the afternoon.
Serve it. So smell it. Isn't it smell great?
I'm familiar with these smells. This is a tea that I've had before.
It's interesting because the English breakfast blend is kind of like a compilation of several former British colonies. So it's like a bittersweet thing where you're like, ugh. But it's like usually Kenyan tea, which that was a British colony. Ceylon, which was called Ceylon when it was a British colony. And Assam, which is from India.
Nice.
Another British colony. So that's delicious. Do you
like
it? It doesn't taste a little sweet?
It does taste a little sweet.
Yeah.
But this is one of the teas.
Okay.
Because I am familiar with this tea because I've had, I think that probably, I don't know, you tell me, any tea, most of the teas here or most people who buy tea here probably buy English.
Yeah, a black tea.
What
are you thinking of?
Okay.
Lipton?
I'm thinking of like Lipton, or I'm thinking about something like my mother would have bought when we were coming up, and this would be the tea that she would have in her in her cupboard or cabinets.
Like tea bags you're talking
about. So this is familiar to me, so I probably would sweeten it because
that's how
in the past I'm used to sweeten the tea. Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Then we can practice.
All right.
The etiquette is that you want to have utensils that are specifically for serving rather than I'm taking my teaspoon and I'm helping myself and I'm stirring it in back. So you need to have like a dedicated teaspoon. First you put your sugar. Why? Because you're doing right. Why? Because it's easier. Once you put the milk in, it's harder to melt the sugar.
Yeah, of course I can stir
and
it
now,
a little bit.
Front and back, 6 and 12. Yes, no.
6 and 12,
because
like that?
and you're not supposed to clink it.
Oh.
Okay. Doesn't that seem silly? Does it?
It's like I'm rowing a boat.
It's all about.
I don't know much about boats either.
It's like you don't want to disturb the other time.
You know, people are asleep at this time of the day.
Yeah.
Taking their naps.
And would you like some milk?
You know what? For the purposes of this video, I will try some milk.
Because normally do you not?
No. But
okay.
You know what? Why not?
Why don't you do it yourself?
Okay.
Okay.
So you put how much 6 and 12 or?
No, you just put it in. He's making fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I don't know. So I'm trying to learn.
Now, here's my trick, everyone, in case you're trying to avoid. I said I thought it was actually sweet. This goes back to my argument. You always smell and taste your tea before you. I know some people, including myself when I first used to go to tea rooms, that just start dumping sugar in there.
Well, you know.
Because they think. But taste it first and see if it's. So here's my trick. When I'm trying to have less sugar, I just use milk. Because as we know, milk has what in it?
Sugar.
Yes, called lactose.
Ooh.
I guess unless you're having lactose free. Okay. And you don't really need to stir when you put milk in, but you can.
Right.
Okay, so milk always goes second. And I did not offer you lemon, but if I did, you would not use it with milk.
I am not a big lemon. Unless it's lemonade.
I'm not either,
I'm
but
not a big lemon person.
some people like it.
Now I like that. This
Typically-
kind of softened the tea a little bit.
How is it? Now it tastes
Wasn't
like
so
a dessert,
bold.
probably. Now what we're gonna do is try our fourth tea, and this is very special to us both because it is from our mutual friend Michael Podkolsky. Look at this.
Oh, yes, Michael.
Um,
Very generous of him.
do you want? Let me have you smell it because you'll be
Alright.
totally shocked. Okay,
Ooh, look at this tea.
smell that. So there, this is so cool. This
Ooh,
tea, it's got a
ooh.
little booklet with it that tells
Wow,
you the
this is
whole
powerful.
story. The Venerable House of Morgan
Mm.
can trace its earliest roots to a London merchant banking firm. J. Pierpont Morgan was the preeminent financing institution of the era.
Ooh.
So basically, they had their own blend made for them.
Okay.
Okay, let me find it here. As one of the most powerful men of the era, he had specific ideas and maintained high standards when it came to tea. His preferred brew blended Earl Grey from Sri
Mhm.
Lanka. And so I, in my terrible accent, say Lapsang
Mhm.
Souchong. That's how I say it, but that's not the correct pronunciation. But anyway, it is a smoked tea.
I was going to ask
Can
you
you
what the
tell?
smoke.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot, I should have tested you before I told.
I
Let's
was going to.
edit. Doug, what kind of flavors do you see?
I smell a smoky flavor, like it's almost been smoked, like a smokehouse type of deal.
Uh-huh. And actually, I have to learn more about that. I don't know the actual
Very
process
strong.
by which they smoke it. But if this is a blend of Earl Grey
Mm-hmm.
and Lapsang Souchong, it's very interesting because Earl Grey is another black tea, but
Okay.
it is scented with do you say bergamot or bergamot? I have to look it up. It's Italian, so it's probably bergamot.
I don't say it at all because I'm not familiar with that word.
It's a citrus, it's like an orange that's grown in Italy predominantly.
Nice.
It can be grown in other places too, but
Yeah,
predominantly
I'm
in
learning so much
Italy.
about, you think about tea, you think about India, you think about England. You don't think about Italy. But hey.
I know. Well, I just did a post about
That's a good idea.
the Italians
Mm-hmm.
because we did an Italian afternoon tea party guide. So I will
Okay.
put the link to that too, and you can go see that.
I'm
That's
gonna
so.
try
I
to
love
do
doing
this.
that because I'm Italian.
Lemon.
Earl Grey was developed as a blend for the British,
Okay.
so that is a super British tea. Earl
Wow.
Grey. Okay. And we also just wrote an article for teaminded.com, and they
Mhm.
wanted us to talk about 10 teas to serve with a traditional British tea.
Okay.
Earl Grey is on that list, most definitely. So it's really cool that they blended those. And if you think about
Mm-hmm.
bankers and the investment world, and you think about like those dark wood paneled
Ooh,
rooms, like
this
their
would go well
clubs
with that.
and stuff, where
Yeah.
they're doing their deals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that seem like it should be
Yeah.
a smoky tea? Yeah.
It seems like I will have like a cigar with this. I would smoke cigars. I don't smoke them anymore. I will have one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
wonder.
it all makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if I would do milk or not. I bet people do. I mean, everything
Yeah.
is to your taste anyway.
Mhm.
There's not really rules,
Well-
except don't do milk and lemon because then the milk curdles. But otherwise,
Ooh.
you do whatever you want.
Science, everyone. Science.
Acidity. The acidity of the lemon.
All right, here we
Now
go.
smell it first. Wow.
Very smoky.
It's a very strong flavor. So do you
It
see what
is.
we did with our teas today? So you
Mhm.
can strategize when you're at
Mhm.
afternoon tea.
Mhm.
Right, because afternoon tea, cream tea is sort of like the second course of an afternoon tea, right? Because
Okay.
remember, we started with finger sandwiches or savory,
Yes.
then we get into scones, and then we
Mhm.
do the desserts,
Ooh.
right? Start with a strong tea,
Okay.
like this we would have first.
First. Okay.
And
Really?
then, everybody has different ideas about it. And then
Okay.
once you come to dessert, because it's so sweet and rich, then you have like a really
makes sense.
lighter
Hmm.
to complement. Would you like this in the morning? I mean, it's
I take it back. I think I would like this like after I
Strong.
eat like a steak meal or something like that.
It kind of reminds you of right? Like a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
The first one,
The green.
the green. Really like that one. Refreshing. Second favorite was the one that came after that. Then it was the oolong. Oh, no, oolong
Oh,
was
you like
second
the
one.
oolong.
Yes, I like the oolong a lot.
Okay, so you like those lighter
Yeah.
teas. And actually
Yeah.
those teas, well, okay, so here's the trick about caffeine. It really comes down to how hot you steeped the tea, because the hotter you steep the tea, the more caffeine it pulls out.
Pulls out of it. Okay.
And so how
Excuse
hot and how long? Now, so this is why there's a relationship, because a green tea will be bitter if you brew it for like more than a couple minutes.
Okay.
So that's why it has less caffeine. Because, you know, think about it. It's the same plant, but you're blue, right? Because all of these are the same plant. Right?
All on the same plant. Okay.
All the tea plant, which is Camellia sinensis, but they're processed differently. They're made differently. Like, that's what creates the difference in the caffeine levels, because these black teas you can steep for like 5 minutes, and you steep them at a hotter temperature. So it pulls more caffeine out. Okay, so here is the coolest trick, which
That's what happens with my tea.
Those of us in the tea world who are in the know, is if you steep any tea, cold brew it, like in your fridge overnight. You just put a big pitcher of water, put the appropriate amount of tea leaves in, and cold brew it. It has like half the amount of caffeine, because you didn't steep it at that hot. Remember, it's that heat that pulls out the caffeine. Because
although we haven't drank a lot of tea, I'm a little jittery.
Are you?
That's all right though. It feels good.
Well, basically, this cream tea is a meal of flour, butter, sugar. So good for you.
Well, you know, you gotta spoil yourself a little bit every now and then. Right.
So you have your friend come over and you just enjoy.
Yeah. It was. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for sharing it.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I drank some great tea.
Friendship.
Should
we cheers our glasses or not?
I thought we're not supposed to.
That was a test.
This is going to end it with
the test, sir.
It's going to end it with a sip.
Okay. We did it.
That was a test.
We're going to taste a couple different teas.
Okay.
What is this one? Let me look. Let me smell it. This is not, you don't do this. Okay, good.
What do you mean you don't do that? You don't normally smell the tea?
Smell the tea on the teapot. Okay, we're Italian.
Yes.
Did your ancestry show that you're Italian too?
No, I think that it is mainly English, and I believe.
Oh, you're British, eh?
Yeah.
I'm not British, so this is more your heritage than mine.
Right.
I'm just horning in on this action. And
believe it or not, Africa. Believe it or not, Africa.
Wonders never cease. Surprise! I guess that.
Guess. Do we have a toast with tea? Just kidding.
Rude. Did you ever see that guy dude with a sign on Instagram?
No.
He said, "Stop doing boomerang cheers videos." Like people go, "Cheers," and it goes back and forth.
Oh yeah, no, you don't do that. You don't ask your friend over for a stalk of celery.
That's a quote. We have a destination teacher. Come on
Unless
over.
It's ants on the log, of course.
Ants on a log and tea.
That doesn't go.
Does
the frog have a name? None of your kids named the frog?
His name is
Froggy.
Edward.
Edward. Such a nice name. Such an official.
I'm trying to do something British. Is that British?
That is. Well, there's a lot of kings and Edwards.
Oh yeah.
Monarchy. There's a name Edwards. Edward royalty. I should
I
have worn my wig
okay
today to match your hair. But next time.
That's going in the bloopers.